is live at local morning radio, coming to you from the studios of Magic Broadcasting on Laird. This is the Kramer Show. This is the Kramer Show. The phone is now open, and the phone operators are standing by. Turn down your radio when you call. Pay attention and be ready to go. 850-233-9988.
What a porker.
This is Kramer. Kramer.
Hello. Put me in program. Hello. Put it in program. All right, good morning. 6:06. Today is, wow, a lot going on there at the top of the hour. Too much happening this early in the morning. Everybody calm down. Good morning to my pumpkin doodles in the audience. Today is January the 9th. No fog this morning. No fog to report. You know, this man, I'm afraid he might be a workaholic. Scott Major joins us already this AM. Scott Major, good morning to you, my friend.
Hey, pal, how you doing, man?
Super duper. How are you?
I'm super.
Good to hear that. Lots going on. People are, you and I talked yesterday about many different issues involving the storm. At this point, the 90-day mark comes up tomorrow. Can you believe that it's been 3 months already? In one way, it seems like a quick 3 months, and in another, it seems like a year ago. It's odd.
No doubt.
So if you'd like to get in touch with us and get on the air with Scott Major and talk to him and ask him questions, our phone number is 850-233-9988, 850-233-9988. Their website, stormhelpteam.org. Where do you want to begin, pal?
I wanted to talk to people about if they're getting checks or if they're getting some kinds of money, what they should do. And the things that I first wanted to start with is to recognize that since we're coming up to this mark, we want to make sure that first, does the insurance company have everything they need so they can, you could limit, for lack of a better word, the ability of the insurance company to extend this 90-day period. So if you made a claim on the day of the storm or the day after the storm, or sometime shortly thereafter, we're working on the 90-day period, then write the insurance company and say to them, dear insurance company, you have all my information. If there's anything else that you're missing or that you need from me in order to fully pay my claim, please write me and tell me within the next 3 business days. Love and kisses you. And if you do that, what will happen is it will trigger the insurance company to do 2 things. Number 1, the insurance company will have to tell you if there's anything else you have. And number 2, the insurance company will be able to tell you if they have, unfortunately or secretly, closed your claim. As you know, many times, and you're reading in these articles, insurance companies are claiming that 90% of the claims are closed or more in some jurisdictions. The only way to get around that is to ask them whether your claim is closed or not. So by writing the letter and saying to them, hey, is there anything that you need from me in order to fully pay the claim? What you're doing is you're telling the insurance company, hey, if there's anything that you're waiting on that I didn't know about, if there's any document, proof of loss, picture, estimate that you need to tell me. And if you've closed the claim for any reason at all, whether you've told me or not, you need to tell me that so I can make sure that I get fully paid.
So that's interesting. I still am baffled and bewildered about the closing of the claims. It still just blows my mind that the insurance companies can get away with saying that they've, closed 90% of the claims when, that's obviously just not the case. And it's also very, very misleading. It gives the federal government and it gives the national take that we're just fine. We're super duper good. Look, 90% of the insurance companies have paid off the claims and people are getting back to normal and people are feeling okay and safe. And that's just not the case.
I'll bet there's a lot of listeners that think that they're waiting on the insurance company to pay a claim or to pay more, and they don't know that their insurance company has claim, and they're just sitting waiting. And in order to reopen the claim, they're going to have to write the insurance company and find out why they're closing the claims. And as you and I discussed, and I spouted out some statistics from various counties, it is a tragic thing, but these insurance companies want to say claims are closed so they can argue that they have properly done the wonderful thing. That is just totally wrong. In fact, if I were able to provide legislation, I would encourage the legislators to formulate either in a statute or an administrative code provision mechanisms that say you cannot close a claim until you've written a specific letter that has in 16 points, Times New Roman, that you have now received all of your money and you have the right to file a supplemental claim, but as of this date, your claim is closed unless you provide additional information, to ensure that the listener does not know that his claim is closed and does nothing, thinking they're waiting for more to come. It's extraordinary, it's horrible, but you have to keep fighting for your money that you paid your premiums to get.
Hey, let me ask you this: if you've gotten a check from the insurance company and you're listening to this, and you don't know whether or not your insurance claim has been, if the whole thing has been closed, what's the best procedure, quickest, most efficient procedure to find out for sure? Because I'm sure
every listener who's got a check should pick up the phone, dial that insurance company number, and ask for their adjuster name, ask for be assigned to their adjuster, and when they get the phone, say, listen, I've only received $12,000. Is my claim still open? If the person says yes or no or whatever they say, hang up the phone. You write them the email or letter, dear so-and-so, thank you for telling me my claim is still open and for telling me what it is that I need to get more money. Or alternatively, I was disappointed to learn that you said it was closed. Nobody informed me of that. Please ensure that my claim is reopened and write me and tell me specifically what you need. If you're on the phone with them and you call them and you ask them if the claim is open and they say yes, you say, why aren't you paying me more money? Or tell me what you need in order to pay me more money. Or why did you only pay me that much money? The concept is you need to be a hawk for your own claim. And if you're not doing that, if you have a public adjuster who's working with you, then you can still call if you want, but otherwise have the public adjuster or lawyer call and then write you a letter and write the insurance company a letter confirming it and copying you so that you aren't waiting, not knowing that you don't have any claim out there.
Got it. Yeah.
I know it's amazing.
Well, no. I mean, what I'm also finding out from you is every time I talk to you, we learn from you that you have to document stuff. Document. If you talk to them, write it down somewhere. Make a record that you, it's ridiculous that you have to do it, actually. And, but it makes clear sense, though, that every time something happens, even if it goes your way, to write it down or document it or to send them an email or write them a letter or something just in case, because you don't know what's going to happen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months down the road. And then you can go back and, look, I'm the worst. If you saw Like every day when I'm at work, if somebody tells me something, I have to write a note down. So I've got papers everywhere, and that's just my system. Because we all have busy lives, and as you're going through it, you're not going to remember what day you talked to somebody. You're not going to remember what exactly they said. So having that documented is probably really important.
Yeah, I can't emphasize enough, and you and I have made the joke about love and kisses and writing these emails or letters. If you create a track record, if you haven't done it already, start it. But if you have, it's very powerful, not only with the state of Florida, should you have to report your insurance company for bad faith in their Chapter 624, or should you be contacting a lawyer to help you to pursue the claim, or should you just be elevating the claim to a supervisor because you've been trying to get information or get the insurance company to do what they're supposed to do and they haven't done it. It's a powerful tool to have this track record, and statistics show that when you write things down and people have them, it cements in people's mind that it's really truthful, versus if you claim you're waiting on something and the insurance company tells you one thing and then they say, no, that's not true. You don't have any problems. And even more importantly, let's say the insurance person told you something and you thought it was something different. If you write it down and you're telling them, please write me if this is inaccurate in any way, it's amazing how powerful that is. And just like these claims being closed artificially, it's a nightmare, but this is the biggest purchase of your life, your home. And you need to protect it and to ensure that the money you paid for your premiums, the contract you have, is enforced, and the insurance company pays what they're supposed to pay.
If you would like to hop on the air with Scott Major, 850-233-9988, 850-233-9988. Yeah, Rachel, let's go ahead and hit a break, and let's get some phones. You should take advantage of this time, this hour with Scott. Scott is with Major, of Major Paruas and the Storm Help Team. Their website address, stormhelpteam.org. We will be right back. Stand by.
850-233-9988. This is the Kramer Show on NewsTalk at 101. This is the Kramer Show. This is the Kramer Show. NewsTalk at 101.
January the 9th, 619, Scott Major on the horn, 850-233-9988. Corey, you're up with Scott Major. Go ahead.
Hey, Kramer. Hey, Scott. Thanks so much. My question, number one, first, thanks for all you guys are doing. It helps a lot to listen every morning to try to navigate through this insurance process. I've listened to you guys. I've written my insurance company. Recently, the last 3 weeks, wrote them an email saying, hey, here's the information on the estimate for my claim, much more than what you've offered me. Please provide me the next steps needed to pay my claim in full. It's been 3 weeks. I hear nothing. I follow up with emails. They just tell me, we're looking at it. We'll provide you the steps. And all I'm asking them for is, it's in review with this person. It should be this long. It's going to take this. And I get nothing. I just don't know where to go next.
Sure. So when you write to an insurance adjuster and you ask them what it is that they need to do, 100% of the insurance adjusters can tell you in 5 minutes what it is that they need from you. And so when they don't do that, or they avoid you, several things could be occurring. Either one, they're just not being truthful with you and they're delaying for an unfortunate or malicious intent, or two, they could be lazy or not have information that they need in order to respond to you, or three, they could simply just be acting in bad faith because they have so many claims and they're not responding. All three of those result in a problem for the insurance company, not you. So what you can do is one of three things. You either can, one, call on the phone and ask for the supervisor on your claim and say, listen, I have written X number of letters over the last 3 weeks. It's been nearly 12 weeks since the storm. I've provided you guys with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And for whatever reason, your brilliant adjusters, your brilliant insurance company who's done this a billion times and knows everything, seems to have lost his voice. He seems to be unable to speak, and his phone does not have any buttons on it. And so what I'm calling you to do is to provide him with some buttons, okay, and to help adjust his mouth alignment so that he will be able to communicate with me effectively and answer the silly question of, why aren't you paying me my money? And not just explain to me in English or in whatever preferable language you want, explain to me exactly what it is you need from me to fully pay my claim. Do you think, sir or ma'am, as the supervisor, that is an unreasonable request of me? And this is all being taped. And I will tell you that they might chuckle, but they'll certainly respond to you. If they don't, or if they do, as soon as you hang up, you write them and say, it was great speaking with you, Mr. Supervisor or Miss Supervisor. Here's the situation. I spoke with you, and you promised me, you made the following statement, quote, I'll take care of it today, or quote, we don't need anything from you, we're just waiting on our field adjuster report, or whatever it is they're saying. You say, so I would expect that you would have an answer back to me on this information within 2 days, or within a day. And the next day, or the next 2 days, when they don't respond, you write them, dear supervisor and adjuster, I'm failing to understand why, after handling millions of claims, somehow my claim is impossible to handle. I've given you every chance in the world to do this. If you can't, communicate or have some problems with communicating, as you know, here's my cell number, blah, 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 blah. And then if that doesn't work, what we'll do is we'll file what's called a statutory civil remedies notice. And that is, you write to the state of Florida and you fill out a form, and it's a notice that they are acting in bad faith. And I will tell you, they will respond, because if they don't, then they may subject themselves to 3 times the amount of damages. But the important thing is to write your letters and document as if a jury was reading it, as if a judge was reading it, so it shows I have been eminently patient for the 11 weeks I'm there, and here's all the things that I've done. Let me repeat for you, even though I've told you this, I've done the following 38 things. I've given you the following data. I've written and called you 62 times, and I'm just struggling to understand why you don't care about me. You see what I'm doing? We're creating
that's what I've been doing.
Really reasonable.
Thank you for that advice. I've been documenting everything. Tell them, hey, I sent you this email 2 weeks ago. I've asked you for this a week ago. Please provide me. I need to call their supervisor and run that path, but I appreciate the advice.
Sure. Have a wonderful day, and call us at 844-800-LAWS if you have any further questions, or you want us to help you wordsmith your letter, or whatever it is you think we can do to make your claim most powerful for you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Corey, thank you. That's one reason why I would want to hire somebody like Major, is because just dealing with just dealing with it takes so much time. We've said it a million times in the show that people just want to get back to their lives and have some type of normalcy, and not everybody feels like sitting around writing letters. And I guess in our minds we kind of have it played out where, well, I pay my insurance company, and we had a storm, and unfortunately we had a major storm, and the storm came through, and now they owe me a bunch of money, and I got to fix my roof, and I got to fix my doors, and my windows are busted, and I got to do that. So now I told them that it happened, and they should send me a check, and then we go on about our lives. But my God, that's not happening. And by the way, I can't believe that people have phones without buttons. That's amazing.
Yeah, isn't that extraordinary? I find that to be more prevalent in a lot of these insurance company things. And again, remember that, they have 100 or 200 claims that they're managing. And so it's unfortunate, but it's almost not personal, in the sense that they're just not really paying attention to your specific claim oftentimes. And they may not know the specifics of what needs to be done or should be done. But what I think is the bigger picture that you and I have discussed over these weeks is this strategic way in which you have to look at these claims, and how we've learned how to write in a more demonstrative and graphic way, and to explain, You remember me calling you on December 5th and December 9th. And you remember me doing this. You remember me telling you that. I don't understand. Please explain in writing why you're not responding to me or why you're not paying my claim. Tell me in detail so that I can respond to you and give you any information you need. If a state of Florida or a jury or anybody sees these things, it sounds as though you as the listener, you as the insured, is being eminently reasonable. You're not failing to do something. You're asking the insurance company, if for whatever reason I didn't do something, if for whatever reason you need something more, no problem. You just have to tell me. But you're not going to have problems with closed claims and waiting for money, and they were really missing a piece of paper, if you do this. And that's not important. It's important not only from the obvious standpoint, but from the statutory standpoint of they can't further delay payment under the statute if there isn't anything that they need.
We got a phone call one morning from Paruas, and I guess this was, I want to say about a month ago maybe, and he was listening to the show and he said, "Hey, I want to schedule something with you because I think it's important that I go on and we talk about the insurance companies and the legality of all that stuff." And I really can't wait to get him on so that we can talk about those issues. And I think it would also be important, to hook up with you and ask you what kind of specific questions we should ask him about that when we get him on. This is
no doubt. It's important to have them explain, what is the process that allows insurance companies to artificially dupe Paruas or other people by claiming that claims are closed or representing claims are closed when you and I both know that 90% of your county or 90% of your city is not back to normal.
Right. Scott, just package. We'll come back and we'll
sure, no problem.
Start back up on that. Stand by, everybody.
The Kramer Show will be back in a sec on NewsTalk at 101. NewsTalk at 101 and Kramer. Live and local in the mornings.
6:32. We're back with Scott Major of Major Paruas and the Storm Help Team. Scott's been handling insurance claims, doing cases for over 30 years. 30 years of experience. Scott was on the insurance side of things. And after talking to him for 5 minutes, you understand that he knows the ins and outs of this little chess game, back and forth and back and forth. He knows. To contact him, 844-800-LAWS, 844-800-LAWS. Love having him on. Let me go to Jerry. Jerry, you're up with Scott Major.
Hey, good morning. This question is somewhat related to this, but I'm sure Scott's familiar with it. In the Condominium Act, Florida Statute 718, under normal situations, you have to get competitive bids if the contract's more than 5% of the income. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay, but since we're under the Emergency Powers Act, and sometimes it's tough to find people to come out and bid, and the insurance companies are paying for that. Do you feel that that competitive bid requirement is still valid?
Well, let's talk a little bit about condo stuff and, what you should be doing. The interesting thing about the Condominium Act is that it provides certain rights and certain exceptions based on various situations. As it relates to a storm, the first thing you guys need to do is to secure the ability to understand what your damages are.
Right.
How you go about doing that is different from the bidding process of who's going to complete the work. So in other words, you can hire a general contractor, builder, a public adjuster, a roofer, whoever the experts and engineer are, to perform the evaluation. You can hire one, you don't have to get competitive bids, and you can bring that person out to evaluate what your damages are for a fee. And if you want to interview multiple people, that's great. But the concept is that I'm not rebuilding my property yet. I'm determining what my damages are. And a lot of times these vendors, a public adjuster or a general contractor, will come out and either not charge you because they're looking to get the work, or they're taking a contingency they're only going to get, like a public adjuster or a lawyer is only going to get a percentage if they recover. So the key for you is to first figure out what your damages are so you can determine what specific vendors you need. You might be covered for certain things and not covered for others, so you don't need the plumber, but you only need the roofer, or you only need the general contractor. So the first step is to acquire the information, to get the detailed estimates, whether you're having a lawyer or a lawyer and a public adjuster do that as a team, or whether you're doing that on your own so that you can understand your damages. But equally significant is that, and this is why I strongly encourage the use of a lawyer or lawyer and public adjuster tandem, is that a lot of people have restoration companies and other companies go out and evaluate their damages, but they may not be preserving the property well. They may not be taking all the photographs, or keeping pieces of the drywall, or taking 16 different photos of the different angles of the window damage or the common area damage, such that an insurance company evaluating it would be able to see that. I don't know if they'll know to tell the insurance company, listen, we're doing an inspection and we're going to be doing some invasive things. We're going to be damaging the wall in order to find out the moisture. Do you want to come out? And you put that in writing. Do you want to come out and be with us? We encourage you to do that because we want you to see the damages with us, even if you've been out already. Okay? These are important criteria that are critical to success, because if your engineer's out there and your engineer thinks that there's lots of damage, and the field adjuster or somebody from the insurance company, whether it's their representative, their engineer, is out there, then you could say, hey, you see what I see? You can run a video or an audio. You see what I see? Tell me what you see that's different. Tell me that this building has moved. Every condominium, every single one moved during the storm. Every one of them. How much they moved and whether that movement caused structural integrity or other damage is another issue. But it would be delusional for people not to believe that their houses and big buildings didn't move. So what I'm telling you is that when you get these vendors and estimates out there, you can also have insurance companies there. If they don't show up, boy, they're going to have some, like, Lucy, you got some explaining to do. And they're going to have some problems with claiming later on that you don't have the damage you have when they could have been out there with you. Does that make sense?
Well, Scott, my real question, I'm totally with you there. But moving on to the next stage, let's say everybody agrees that the roof needs to be repaired. So then you say you got a GC out there, and he says, okay, we'll run Xactimate and run it by the insurance company. Does that GC need to go out and get 3 bids for the roof replacement?
Well, I can tell you that, again, if you're looking under the statute and you want it to be funny or you want it to be just the head of the party, 718.1265 is the statute that talks about the Extraordinary Powers Acts.
Yep, I'm familiar.
Yeah, those powers tell you specifically what you can do and what the purpose of them are, and they include the ability to, develop cleanup or to prevent further damage or to declare, certain property off limits. And if your declaration provides that, if your condominium provides that, if your condo lawyer is approving that, and if in fact you want to declare that get somebody enough different vendors, you guys have the right to do that, but you need to check with your condominium lawyer so you're not acting in contravention of something that they want. But generally speaking, you can use the emergency powers doctrine for the things that are, quote, reasonably necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the association. And if you can figure that to fall under, that you need to make emergency repairs, you need to make repairs now, and you can't find the vendors or it will take too long, and you guys delineate that you've made attempts to do that and it's not reasonable, I think you're in good stead. But I would again defer to your local condo lawyer, and if the condo lawyer wants to call us to talk to us, we're happy to do that. And if you don't have one, to consider either calling us and we'll get you one that's locally, or having a private meeting so that you guys can figure out what your best remedy is. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
I wish you the best of luck. Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, Jerry, you can reach out and talk to Scott Major, his team, 844-800-LAWS, 844-800-LAWS. That's one thing that we're starting to talk about more and hear more questions about is condos, and certainly businesses that need to get back up and running. That whole process seems to be on the commercial side. Boy, does it seem to be even taking longer. And I'm new to this. I've never lived anywhere where there was a major storm like this, and you see businesses that they're not up. It's been 3 months. They're still not operating. Can you imagine what kind of money you lose? Even with a condo, a building. People are losing money if there's no one living there. Due to damages or whatever, they're not making their money off the condo. So it gets really deep. You start going into the minutia of it. It's pretty mind-blowing.
No, I can tell you that one of the bigger factors about the way we live our life is our happiness quotient, our ability to feel as though we're in control of our environment and that we can impact those around us in a productive way. And the inability to get businesses open and to get your infrastructure back in place creates an emotional instability for everyone. And it creates an inhibition or obstacle to the kind of normality that we're used to. And that is why, in addition to these reasons that you may have under contract or law, it's an emotional and real thing that we need to get our city back. We need to get our county back. And in order to do that, we all need to work together to do that. Whether you're a realtor trying to sell a home or purchase a home that is damaged, or whether you're a business that can't live because they don't have it open, or you're an employee who can't work at that business because it's closed, the ripple effect of these things is so profoundly larger than people outside your community, people who are in Texas or other places saying it's not so bad, or somebody who's in California or somebody who's not facing the storm or the remnants of the storm don't understand that. So we have to be honest and recognize that we need our lives back. And 90% of the property is not fixed, contrary to what the insurance company is saying. So the more we band together, the more we're 850 strong, the more that we can get lawyers or other professionals to help make the proper demands of the insurance company, the better off we are. And when you hear even callers call in and they don't even know what their condo law rights are, that shows that delays are going on because they don't know what to do. They don't know that under 718.265 or 720.316 that they have emergency powers, but they have to be exercised in good faith. Or they only, they don't know that the duration of these powers is limited to the time necessary to protect the association members and property and to make emergency repairs or mitigate further damage. You can't use that statute to unilaterally avoid, trying to get competitive bids or trying to take steps to get the right things. If they haven't gotten competitive bids yet, they need to try to do that. But all I'm pointing out is that we have an emotional cost that occurs every day. You and I talk about this all the time. And it's as important for us to get our lives back to get these properties fixed as it is to actually get the properties fixed. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, absolutely. But if you own a business, for whatever damage, whatever reason there is that you're not able to operate, shouldn't that be an emergency?
The answer is yes, and let me just use two words since we're approaching the 90-day period that I would repeat. Stop waiting. Stop waiting. Stop waiting. Get a professional involved who's getting you your money. If you have a professional working for you now and you don't know the status of your claim, have them write you and tell you when you're getting your money or what the obstacles are. We have to get these people together. If you have neighbors, if you have a bunch of businesses in a strip plaza or in an area, let's all write letters together, so that each person has their own letter, and we send out 6, 10, 12 letters demanding that they pay. We have to take steps insurance companies can't artificially delay just because they have more claims. You weren't able to artificially delay when you were too busy to pay the premium, so they can't artificially delay now. There's a reason for these rules and these statutes.
So I don't know how this works, but if a business can't operate and they reach out to the insurance company and say, hey, we haven't been able to operate since this such and such date, where are we? It's a shame that, I drive by businesses every day, and it really is a shame, and it's sad to me to see how many businesses are not open and are not operating.
It's awful, and just think about what you just said. How badly you feel. You're not alone. And that creates a different kind of problem. There isn't the kind of happiness when everywhere you drive, you recognize and feel the frustration and upset of not only the businesses, not only the fact you can't go there or that they can't succeed, but their employees, that are there. And people still have to pay for food. Just because you got an extension on your mortgage payments doesn't mean that you don't have to have money in order to live. So it's important for us to figure out ways to empower people to get our lives back. And I'm just telling you that with the businesses, depending on your insurance, you can get back your lost profits. You can get emergency repairs made. You can get a stipend of money to get the front part of your operation going. And you can do this. And if you're not getting results, even if you don't call us, call someone. Get professionals involved that you feel confident can get you some money or all of your money now. There's just no reason for the delay. None whatsoever.
To get on the air, we'll take a break and we'll come back. If you want to get on the air and ask Scott questions, 850-233-9988, 850-233-9988, and also their website, stormhelpteam.org. More with Scott Major of Major Paruas and the Storm Help Team coming up.
We talk about what Panama City is talking about. More Kramer next on NewsTalk at
101. 6:49. It is the Kramer Show. It's NewsTalk at 101. Scott Major on from Major Paruas and the Storm Help Team. Going over anything and everything about the hurricane post-recovery. And this is, the timing on this is crazy. We're at the 3-month mark, 90 days, coming up tomorrow. And from everybody I talked to says this is going to, this is going to be years, not months, not weeks. This is going to be a very, very long recovery process.
Yeah, I agree with you. I can tell you, though, the sooner that we can start, the sooner we'll be completed, and the sooner that we can educate the community that they actually have rights, that they don't have to be a prisoner of the insurance company. They don't have to sit and wait till some unknown period of time. They don't have to sit back and say, well, I don't want to upset the insurance company. They don't have to be duped by rumors of other things. They can go and get their money. The sooner that we can rebuild and get the majority of our property back to some normalcy, that will help us all. And the more that participate, more results we're going to get quicker.
You did mention getting people together, getting neighborhoods together, and the reason for that is so that, one house that's, 200 feet away that has the same damage, you can kind of put all of that together and say to the insurance company, look, it's the same damage, same type of thing, very helpful. And, you also say often that you would be willing to speak to groups of people, which is important. And if that's something that you're listening to right now and you'd like for Scott Major and those guys to come in and to help out, 844-800-LAWS, 844-800-LAWS. It's all about, I guess, it's hard and difficult for the average person to think about things from a legal standpoint, because we're emotional about it, so but when we listen to you talk, you're very systematic about what to do and how to do it, and you also preach urgency yet patience at the same time, which is practical and it's good.
there's no doubt that if you don't ask for your money, you're not going to get it. And so there are great ways to ask for the enforcement of your contract and yet be polite and kind, but be firm. And I can't emphasize enough how important it is that you do that. You're not going to offend the insurance company by asking for what you deserve. And candidly, if you don't ask, you probably won't get. On top of that, the insurance company is actually going to respond more frequently and more positively the more aggressive or firm you are in the sense of writing them and saying, here's my information. I need you to pay me my full claim, or I need you to tell me what you need. Maybe it is they need more pictures. Maybe they need a different kind of estimate. Maybe what they need is some sort of engineering report. But whatever it is, I would like to know that. As for people who are in neighborhoods or businesses, if I have 10 people in a particular neighborhood and I can write a letter for each one of them, one house at a time, and I write all these 10 letters, and any one of those insurance companies pays, everybody wins. And if they don't, what if we get 6 different excuses and they're completely contradictory? You can learn a lot and use it in your case and everybody else's cases to show the utter lunacy of what is going on, all helping you. These are critical things. If you want me to come to your condo organization, if you want me to evaluate your existing lawyer public adjuster process, if you want me to come to your school, or you want me to come to your church, or you want me to come to your business and talk to your employees about their rights, I mean, do it. Take advantage of this. I spent on my own dime, tens of thousands of dollars after Hurricane Sandy. I didn't make a penny off this. And I went up and gave speeches around all the boroughs and all the islands all day long, every single day, to try to educate and empower people. It makes a difference if you know what's going on and you leverage this. We need our city back. And the only way to get it is for us to band together and really use the resources and leverage that we have.
Just got a message from Rachel, our producer for today. She had a caller that asked, she says she got a public adjuster that came out and gave a new estimate, emailed it to the insurance company adjuster, and they're trying to claim that they never got it. But the caller has the documentation that it has been sent. And I guess, Rachel, was she wanting to know what the next step should be on her end?
Exactly.
Yeah, go ahead.
What her next steps and processes should be to follow up with this guy that's trying to claim that he never got the right documentation from her.
You're talking about the insurance company did not get the estimate that the public adjuster
Right,
did?
that's what they're claiming.
Okay, so dear insurance company, as you know, on January 3rd, we sent you an estimate, an additional estimate for X number of dollars. We have proof that you've received it, period, for some unknown reason. You've claimed you didn't receive it. I am again including another copy of this. I'd appreciate that you confirm with me today in writing by hitting reply to this email that you've received it. And within the next 2 days, please write me back and tell me when I'll be receiving my check, or if you have any specific problems with any item on there, that you will identify what that item is, and each and every ground, every fact, every scientific support for why it is that you're not going to pay that. Love and kisses you. And 2 days later, when they don't respond, you ask them again, and then you call up and ask for the supervisor and say, it's been 12 weeks. I sent you another estimate a couple of days ago. That seems to be the problem. Help me. If there's a communication gap, you guys are tired, you're sick, you need donuts, you need love, just tell me. I'm happy to give it to you, but you need to pay my claim.
Some donuts. Scott Major Paruas and the Storm Help Team. He's been doing this stuff for 30 years. He knows the ins and outs of it, man. So you can call him 844-800-LAWS. 844-800-LAWS. Their website, stormhelpteam.org. We have learned that some of the people in this world have phones that don't have buttons. And we've also learned that there are people from the insurance company that can't do anything because they don't have their donuts. And unfortunately, I kind of sympathize on that end. Scott Major, as always, sir, thank you very kindly.
Hey, thanks for having me, and thanks for all you do for the community. We really appreciate it.
You as well, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.
Be well. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.